So we know that you don't want to hear about our opinions on the NFL OT rule, but we're going to tell you about it anyways. Welcome back to the HeyUSA podcast. My name's Nick Garcia, senior writer, PlayUSA, and as always, I'm joined with Brant James, lead writer, PlayUSA. Brant, how are you doing this Tuesday?
Doing well, just mentally preparing myself for the big conference championship weekend. It's getting more exciting by the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting pretty exciting. What better way to lead into it? But before we give you our unfiltered opinions about the NFL OT rule, we got a little update from New Jersey. What's the exciting news out of New Jersey, Garden State?
Yeah, New Jersey, often the bellwether of sports betting and gambling news and legislation and trends in the U.S. Just this week, today, as we record, a matter of fact, a company called Esports Entertainment Group, INC, I guess that's Inc., has been basically allowed. They've been licensed to offer betting on esports in New Jersey. The company, your platform will be vie.gg. I don't know. But if you're in New Jersey, you're an esports fan, and you think you're smart enough to win some money betting on it, Call of Duty, League of Legends, whatever, you're pretty soon going to have an outlet where you can go try that.
Have you seen any esports just in general on TV or anything? Have you ever sat down and watched any?
I have, because for the last 5 years, as you know, the industry as a whole has been telling us it's going to be the next big thing. Eventually, it's going to have to be, or it wasn't the next big thing. And the fact that you have pro sports teams building arenas such as in Philadelphia, these things are sprouting up around the country where the kids just jam in and scream like it's a K-pop concert and just yell as the nerdy kids shoot fake guns at each other. It's quite a phenomenon, and for that I respect it. I don't get it, much like golf. We've been over this, I think, but it's definitely a deal for a spectator. Now, whether it can be a betting market, looks like we're going to maybe find out in New Jersey.
It is nuts how a simple pastime has turned into scholarship offers and six-figure incomes for some people, all for playing fucking video games. It's crazy.
Unbelievable. Hey, totally a coincidence. My alma mater, West Virginia University, I believe they had the national champion esports something or another this year. So whatever, shoot the musket, baby, national champion #1.
It is crazy.
I love it.
It's nuts. It's crazy. There has been controversy around esports, though. There have been a few like fixes, or some people were kicked off for things. Is that right?
Yeah, see, that's part of the problem with this. Going back years, doing research on this from the folks who think it's going to be a big deal. Some of the legislators and some of the potential operators and just some of the scholars and lawyers looking at this, it is incredibly easy to fix just because of the communication going on. A lot of the games are being broadcast on Twitch. There can be all kind of levels of communication going on back and forth. Not so much in the venues in person, but if you were ever to have contests where Team A is in California, Team B is in New York, there's a lot of integrity potential issues here. The ref is going to hear if the point guard yells at the guy defending him, I'm going to just drop it and let you pick it up.
Yeah.
You can that is very noticeable. But also there's so many tech issues. And then you get into the legality of the publishers of the games, the companies that write the games. Do they have to get licensed as a sports book? There are so many court cases and so many billable hours for lawyers, I think, to figure out before this ever happens. I mean, I'm not trying to be the grumpy old guy. I think it's definitely a thing. I've seen statistics where, contrary to popular belief, like the average esports participant in his house isn't necessarily a 14-year-old boy. Like there's middle-aged men that do this. My generation, we grew up with really bad video games and we still kind of like it. I don't play it, but somebody is that's older. And I fully expect that one day it's going to be an Olympic sport. I am not saying it's not a deal, but as far as a betting market, it's really, really complicated.
Now, is New Jersey the only state currently that offers betting on esports, or will offer betting on esports?
Yeah, I mean, as far as offering an esports company, we'll just call them a platform to do this. They've offered some markets. I believe that I think Colorado might have opened some up, but COVID, really opened up a few things. New Jersey had some betting on the Oscars. There's been some award show betting. This is really, I think, a trial. This is going to be a chance to see if this sticks. Super interesting. As I said, there's so much going on with this. I was having a discussion with a company that was trying to get into this a couple years ago, and they were talking about just things you don't think of about latency, and not to get super wonky so everyone goes away, but that's just the lag in the signal from me talking to you and you hearing me, because I'm in Florida and you're in Chicago. It's really hard to have these contests in different remote places around the world because some people's internet sucks incredibly. The gentleman told me, all you got to do is set up your esports team in South Korea because they have the best infrastructure for internet, and somebody in the U.S. is going to be a couple seconds behind and get their virtual head exploded by the guy in South Korea because their internet's faster. And then if that's going on and you're sitting there in whatever and you're trying to bet on it, well, that's not fair either. The result is way over. It's
here's a true story. Sophomore year of college, I went back to it was maybe Christmas break. I went back home, and a buddy of mine, this is back when Halo was real big, asked me if I wanted to play in what was then a Halo tournament. And it was some guy who rented out a U-Haul storage room and just plugged in a bunch of TVs and a bunch of consoles and just had, 20, 25 guys just like line up and go in and out of this thing and play, 4-on-4 Halo. And that was the first time that I wasted $100 illegally gambling, I guess is what it was. But I don't know. We can keep that. But, that was my first forte into the world of esports, I guess.
I feel like you might have unwittingly been part of some sort of terrorist hacker organization for just a short amount of time. But hey, here you are.
Yeah. So enough of esports. Let's dive into the exciting NFL divisional round that was. I mean, could we have asked for better games? I mean, I feel like we say that every year, but this year they felt very special.
Absolutely elevated even further into video game realm. I mean, just so many of the games coming down to kicks.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly the one we're talking about, the Bills and the Chiefs, and just touchdowns, everyone forgetting how to play defense. If you don't have an emotional connection to either team, which I didn't, it was just wonderful. I mean, I don't think we need to explain the game too much, but when the Chiefs were those magical 13 seconds and the Chiefs were marching down the field to try and set up the Butker field goal, I just look at my kid who's watching the game. I'm like, please let them get these field goals. Like, why do you care? I'm like, I want more of this. I'm not throwing furniture. Neither one of these are my teams. Let the people in Buffalo or Kansas City have their heart attacks.
I was in the same realm. I was so stressed. I didn't care. Obviously I'm not a Bills fan or a Kansas City fan, but my stress level was so high. And I was so excited. It was like I was watching a movie. Like I didn't know what was going to happen. What was going to happen next? Yeah. Was there another plot twist? And there, in fact, was a controversial. Well, I don't even know if it's controversial. There, we'll dive into that. So, for listeners out there, Brant and I just randomly, we're going to take opposite sides of this discussion. We're going to put 2 minutes on the clock, and we're each going to give you our unfiltered opinion on: do we think the overtime rule in the NFL should be changed, or should it stay the same? Brant, you want to go first or second?
I've won the toss, and I will kick.
All right. Okay.
So if your argument's really, really good, I guess I don't even get to go.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I guess. Okay. All right. 2 minutes starts now. Since I'm taking the opinion on that it shouldn't be changed, my whole argument is that, rules are rules. I mean, we put this in for a reason. I mean, we already changed it once. I feel like the rule is perfect as it stands. If you play defense, then it doesn't matter if the other team scores a touchdown because your defense can stop this quarterback and then give your guy the chance to get the ball. I mean, that's why we play 11 on 11 and not 7 on 7. So for me, I mean, you win the coin toss, the Bills had the best defense in the league. Shouldn't they have stopped Pat Mahomes? I feel like the rule should stand. It was in place for a reason. My other issue, if there was a rule change, the only thing that should occur is that they play out the entire 10 minutes of the quarter. Not whoever, I mean, whoever scores first, I mean, it happens. But if you want a rule change, you don't just give the other guy the ball. You just play out the entire quarter, if that's going to be the case. Or you adopt the college football rules. Put the ball on the 25, go for 2 points, make it that easy. But then that score would probably be 59-59 by the time it's over. Anyhow, to wrap it up, the rules should stay the same. That's why we wrote it, to have things like this. That's why teams play defense, to stop things like this from happening. Final take, and that is 29 seconds left on the clock.
Well, you're completely wrong, and let me tell you why. First of all, because you're a very bad man, you took one of my arguments. I would have no problem whatsoever chopping this down to 10 minutes and just playing the whole thing. I understand that the Players Association may not like this. They shortened it from 15 a few years ago for player safety and health. They've already played a long time. Obviously, if you look at the Bills and the Chiefs game, those guys were huffing and puffing and probably very susceptible to injuries after chasing the ball carriers back and forth as long as they were. I have no problem. Let's play the whole 10, and then let's see what the final score is at the end of it, like in sports. But I feel that the NFL is there for my entertainment, and it's there for your entertainment. If it's either one of our two teams, it's there to cause us mental stress and physical illness, and we want this game over as quickly as possible. And it doesn't matter how our team wins. We want our team to win. Otherwise, every NFL rule is written in pencil because it's about entertaining all the folks out there in TV land that get stuck in their living rooms watching those TV ads, especially those ones for sports books nowadays. And that's what it's all about. It's about entertainment, because if you recover a fumble, the entire team runs down to the other end zone and stages a Broadway play to entertain the fans and just to rile everybody up. Strangely, you can't take off your helmet by yourself and celebrate, but that's a whole different issue. So I say let them play the whole 10 minutes. But if we're going to do this sudden death-ish type of overtime, I think you add a backyard element to it, and here's what you do. Anytime a team scores, the other team gets to match. Okay, so let's apply that to the Kansas City game this weekend. Kansas City scores a devastating, soul-crushing touchdown against the Bills, who just should be used to this kind of thing by now. Immediately, Josh Allen, who was sitting there looking like the loneliest kid on earth, he had that helmet on so tight, just hoping that was going to keep all the good karma in, and he was going to run out there like, no one's going to make me. Yeah. Oh, I'm going into overtime. I'm going to keep going.
OT. He's going OT.
If the first team scores a touchdown, Josh Allen gets to go match. If Josh Allen gets the touchdown, they can go for the 1. They can go for the 2. They can end it. If they don't get anything, Chiefs win. If the Chiefs get a field goal that first time, the Bills get the ball the next time, they can kick a field goal. You just got to one-up the guy. And then you're going to get into situations where you go for the 2 or you go for the 1. That's great TV. You sell more ads. Everybody wins except the losing team's fans.
And that was time. That's the OT rules. It's good.
Double OT.
I surprisingly agree with the backyard rule. I like that. I think that's good because Josh Allen gets to match. If it's 4th and 1 and they get stopped, Chiefs win the game. If he manages to go down, score a touchdown, game keeps going. I like it.
Who doesn't want that? I mean, who wouldn't be entertained here? Not to quote Gladiator. I mean, you would actually get in situations where it's 4th and a million, and a coach is going to have to debate whether you send the kicker out there and let him go for it. I mean, I think it's got layers, and the defenses aren't going to play anyway. My God, the Bills are the best defense in the league until it really mattered and crushed the end of it.
I do. You made one comment that was written that I found I really liked, that the NFL rules are written in pencil. It's not the 10 Commandments out there in stone. So yeah, especially with the landscape of betting and all these betting deals and stuff. You're right. I think that it's put in stone. If you agree with either of our opinions, let us know in the comments. I mean, we'd like to know who was right in this argument. If you want to check out a little piece that our buddy CJ Pierre wrote over at Play AZ, he put out his opinion on that. It's a really good read. We'll link that to the description on the bottom. The the last thing before we go, we got to talk about the two games that are happening this weekend. Cincinnati travels to Kansas City to take on the legend of Pat Mahomes and some old dude from Detroit Lions. I'm kidding, Matt Stafford, if you're listening. Matt Stafford plays host to Jimmy G and the 49ers. So, Brant, who do you got?
There's a part of me, a selfish part of me, that's very hurt and very angry at Pat Mahomes right now because he pretty much single-handedly trashed one of my fantasy league seasons, not because he beat me in the playoffs. It's because he was total crap during most of the middle of the season when I really needed him.
Yeah.
So I'm having trouble rooting for him, and I like the chaos, and I would really, it'd be fun to see the Bengals win this one. I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can score enough, but I'm rooting for the Bengals.
Well, the Bengals did beat them to second game of the regular season, so maybe they got that magic.
The Bills thrashed the tar out of the Chiefs earlier too.
Pat Mahomes, same alma mater. We both went to Texas Tech. I too, though, am not a fan, unfortunately, of the Kansas City Chiefs. I wrote about it. I said that I'm riding the Joe Cool wave for as long as it'll take me. I got the Bengals in another thriller. Hopefully not overtime, but in another thriller, I'm taking the Bengals. What about the California special? Who do you got in that one?
Yeah, again, if only this one could be some sort of devastating tie and just let the AFC game count as the Super Bowl. I guess I'm still waiting on that massive Stafford error. He was really pretty good against the Bucs.
He was.
But what the 49ers did was pretty impressive. I think one of the problems with the 49ers, and they started to show it against the Packers, I feel like they're trying to get Deebo Samuel killed. I understand the tendency when you have a really good football player, you want him to do everything, but I feel like they're maximizing hits on this person. I think long term it's going to be detrimental, and short term he has got to be bruised up pretty good. Anyway, even though hilariously I think SoFi is going to be filled with 49ers fans despite the Rams' attempts to keep them out.
Yeah.
I think it'll be 49ers fans leaving upset and going back north. I think the Rams are they're all in for it. As hilarious as it would be to see them fall short with all the draft capital and all the money they're spending, all the salary cap this year, I think the Rams are going to win this one.
So you got Rams, Kansas City as your pick for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I believe. No, well, I'm rooting for. Yeah, I think Kansas City is going to beat the Bengals. Although I am rooting for them.
I am going. I have a buddy, Phil, if he's listening to this, who also said exactly your words that SoFi is going to be packed with 49ers fans.
Yes,
Thus, I am taking the 49ers because they're going to run Deebo Samuel into the ground, and I believe that guy is magical. I want a rematch. I mean, I was a mere child when it happened, but the 89 Super Bowl, 49ers, Bengals, I think that'd be nice. I mean, you got a guy in Jimmy G who fans wanted to run out of town, and now he could potentially lead them to a Super Bowl. I think you're right. Matt Stafford's due maybe for a screw up, an interception or something. I don't know. We'll see. I do like that 49ers defense. Their special teams clearly is very, very good. So I'm taking the 49ers and the Bengals.
Interesting. Yeah. I believe that Super Bowl with the Niners and the Bengals, we are not going to link a picture of it, but isn't that the one where Rob Crumrye's leg broke in a very bad way and it was sort of flopping around?
Believe you're right. We definitely won't leave it. Yeah, so
that was just awful. I think hopefully in just for the sake of a good game, I hope the 49ers are just immersing Deebo Samuel in like a Motrin bath, like Boba Fett in that TV show that they got out now. Yeah. They need to really get some muscle relief.
He is definitely like in a cryogenic chamber. They're just storing him.
For the best. For the best of the game. They'll need him for overtime.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the show for today. As always, like, follow, subscribe. If you have any comments or anything, let us know. Follow us on Twitter. We'll be back next week with hopefully a nice preview of the Super Bowl. All right. You know the drill.